And welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes of Focus. It's a podcast with Mr. John Alvarado. What's up, everybody? Hey, I have a absolute fire guest for you guys this afternoon. Let me tell you this. I've got to grab my phone for this introduction because she's sitting right next to me, and it's just already it's just about to get crazy in here.
It's
We're
about to
going,
go down.
we're going in. We are going in. So let me grab your notes because I have to what you gave me just a second ago. Yeah, bad me as the host. I should already have this up, but it's all good. So, introducing, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Odalis Miranda, who is a model with big dreams, a passion for mindset and inspiration, and a love for all things growth. At the very young age of 25, she's making an impact within her community and helping others elevate. Welcome, Odalis.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, I'm so happy you agreed to do this
Yes.
because I'll tell you what, we're just going to have a good conversation. You know, when I
Yeah.
when I got with you about doing this podcast, I've collabed with you before. You just on this next level train with mindset, and I just have to talk to you about, you know, just how you got here, how you decided to get into mindset. Of course, I mentioned model, so anybody knows about your work knows that you just go in 100%. So, of course, I just want to talk a little bit about this is when did you decide, first of all, to get into mindset work and how did you arrive there?
Yeah. So honestly, mindset, I never knew like working on your mindset was even like a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I was just uh flowing with my life. And when I got introduced to a beauty brand that I was able to like work online. So I was in like an era of my life where I was like, damn, like I want more in my life. Like I felt like I was just not doing anything with myself. So I actually invested in a beauty brand with Monet. And
Nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. We're both
yeah, I feel like that's
100%.
how we kind of like,
Yeah. It is. Yeah. We start following each other and following each other's journey.
yeah.
100%.
And yeah, so I invested in that, and like they were talking about like personal development, and I'm like, what is that? I just
Yes.
never knew anything about that. And then they were saying like podcasts, affirmations. I guess like they started to really like dig deep at that mindset in the entrepreneur space is
Sure.
so important,
Sure.
because being an entrepreneur is not easy.
Right.
And I feel like it's like you have to get this mind right.
Of course.
So I slowly started getting into like, affirmations. I remember the first thing that I would like that introduced me to like the personal development was affirmations, like speaking
Mm,
positive things into myself, like,
okay.
and I remember like the first time like I was on my way to work, and it was like affirmations, like, oh, like I'm a good daughter, like, I'm deserving of great things in this life, like
Sure.
things that I feel like I wouldn't really tell myself. And I
Yeah.
got really emotional. Like on my way to work, I was
Wow.
crying because I felt like I was saying these things, but I also didn't believe it,
Wow.
you know?
How many times does that happen to people?
Like I feel like
Wow.
so many times,
Yeah.
like we say these things, but like do we really believe it,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and I feel like I would keep repeating it though. It was like a 21 day type of, like, how it's like they say like 21 days
To
for
a habit.
something, for a
Hmm.
habit.
Yeah.
So I was just continuing like every day on my way to work, until like I feel like I felt more confident with what I was telling myself.
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
I am deserving of great things. Maybe I'm not the best person, maybe I'm not the best artist, but like I'm striving to be,
Sure.
like to be the best person that I can be. And I just feel like slowly, like I started getting into that, some podcast. And then I feel like with like podcasts, it's like I'm such a like a audio, no, not like audio, but I just reading, for example, like it took me a while to get into books
Okay. Okay.
because I feel like I've never been a fan of reading.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've noticed that like when you read, at least it's like books that really intrigue you. That's what kind of like gets you
It'll keep your
interested.
attention
Yeah,
longer, right?
because I
Yeah.
feel like in school, like everything I was reading, it would just I would read it and then it would
Well,
go off my
yeah.
ear.
Yeah. That's typical.
So like after that, I never really got into reading, but I love self-help books, like anything where it can help me grow,
Sure.
in all aspects. It could be financially, mentally, like in all aspects, like I just love to continue to learn and how I can do better for myself. Because I feel like when you work on yourself and you strive to be the best version of yourself, you also put that out there with the people around you,
Yep.
you know?
100%.
I feel like when you're not happy with yourself, you also portray that around your
Yeah.
people. So I feel like for me, it's like, okay, like I want to, be happy and proud of myself on what I do. So mindset was definitely just like key to like how I saw life.
Okay.
I was like it changed my life. Like
Wow.
when I say mindset stuff, like anything personal development, like podcast reading, like it changed my life because now I see life so differently.
Mm,
It really like changes your perspective on like things, on like things that you just like. I feel like you're just, if it's like new information that was
sure.
just getting to me, and like I feel like it was just kind of like the same old same old. I wasn't getting no information because I was just partying and just doing the things, and it was just same routine, same things, like I wasn't really doing anything.
Okay.
So I feel like with the mindset it really has helped me in the sense of just believing in myself, having more of a positive attitude with things,
Mm,
um and I feel like that like mindset has really pushed me to like setbacks. Like when it comes to setbacks, like I like it pushes me to like keep going.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what has that done to your circle of friends? Think about when you were partying, your circle of friends, and where your friends are at today. Is it different?
I definitely do feel like mindset. I can't have these type of conversations with everyone.
Wow. Because do you scare some people off?
Like
Is
I
that
just
what
feel
it
like
is?
sometimes it's just uncomfortable, or like there's just not really their type of conversation they like to have. But for me, like I'm so passionate about mindset. Like those type of conversations get me
You
going. I
get you
be
fired up.
fired up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like I do notice that like I can't have those type of conversations though, like growth conversations with everyone, Like for
Right.
me, like I'm trying to like grow, and like how can I, like what can I create? What can I do more? And from
Yeah.
there, like I just feel like you kind of do start to realize like the people who are interested in it and are not. And I don't like, I'm not here to like judge anyone,
No, no,
like
that's not what we're here for.
yeah, like I just feel like it's like I understand where people are at.
You meet them in their
Yeah, I
chapter.
meet him in their chapter.
Yeah.
But for me, like I love mindset. Like
Yeah.
that when I have conversations with people that are like just passionate about mindset or just like about growth or creating, like
Mhm.
creating, that like right there is what gets me like
Yeah.
fired up.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that there's been a quote that says, "We're not put on this earth to consume, we're put on this earth to create." Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
It's so true, right? Because there's a difference in your mind when you're sitting here mindlessly scrolling versus when you grab your phone, you take it out, you start posting or you start creating, and you realize that you're putting in all this time and this effort with no return. However, there is a return because it's firing you up.
Yep.
You're about to put something out that's going to absolutely impact lives.
Yep.
That by itself is huge.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So because I just kind of went into that, talk about your achievements so far. I mean, I mentioned model. You got to talk about that for sure. But what are some of the biggest achievements that you've gone through so far?
Yeah. So in the modeling aspect, I feel like there's achievements in different like aspects in my life, I wouldn't say there's like just that one achievement that's like, that's like the grand slam, but I just feel like there's different achievements in different aspects of my life.
Sure.
So in the modeling aspect, I started off of just doing classes. So I actually used to do pageantry back then.
Wow.
And when this is when I was like 14,
Okay.
14, 15,
Was
16.
this your idea?
No, my mom actually kind of put me into it
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
it's crazy because I've always been a tall girl. I've always like not always, but when I was younger, I would kind of get bullied on my height.
Yeah, yeah.
I would get called twig, giraffe,
Yeah.
and honestly, it would get to me. Like it really would get
Oh,
to
yeah, of
me.
course.
And my mom like would see me like I would be all like, "Oh, it's all fun and games or whatever," like at school, but like I was
You
really
were a little
hurt.
bit hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt,
Mhm.
and my mom would notice that like I was like emotional about that topic,
Okay.
so I wasn't really like happy with my height, and my mom has always been like someone that's like God created you like this for a reason,
Sure. Sure.
And
100%.
so she got me into that. Like it seemed for me like it also like seemed interesting, to get into it, but she was the one that kind of like told me like, "Oh yeah, do it." Like she has always been like one of my biggest support systems,
Love it.
you know.
Love hearing that.
And Yeah, so I got into it. I did like 3 pageants and stuff, and that really helped me a lot with my self-confidence with myself because at first I didn't feel like worthy, because of my height. But at the end of the day, we're all beautiful in our own way.
Love that you said that. Love it.
Like we're all like we all have something to offer in this world. We all have a purpose in this world. And
Yeah,
I just feel like I don't know, it really made me embrace my height more
sure.
and made me feel just so much better about my height. So that was like I want to say like during my high school years.
Okay.
During after graduation and stuff, I did get kind of like held back with partying, smoking,
Hmm.
drinking.
Hmm.
Like that was kind of my lifestyle.
Okay.
After high school, I started working with my dad. It was like a full-time thing, so
Okay.
Monday through Saturday. But on my free time, like all I was doing was either smoking or drinking with my friends or going out to the parties on
Yeah.
the weekend. Like that was just my lifestyle. Like I just felt like it was like every week was the same
The
thing.
same
The
thing.
same thing,
Yep. Yep.
Nothing was really changing.
Yeah.
And at 19, I got into a really bad accident. I had brain surgery.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did,
like
was that life changing for you? I mean,
very
on
life changing for sure. It was just crazy. I would have never thought I would ever go through that.
wow.
But I feel like I also needed to experience that
Sure.
for a reason because I'm telling you, when my life was getting out of hand with like the drinking, the smoking, like that's all I was doing with my life. And I felt like everyone has like their own like higher power, but for me, I believe in God.
Sure.
I felt like God put me in that position for a reason. I felt like he needed to teach me something.
Mm.
I came back like good, like I'm good. I'm able to talk, I'm able to move.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever happened. If I don't ever like say like I had brain surgery, nobody would ever know.
Nobody would ever know. Yeah.
Nobody would ever know.
Yeah.
But I know like I went through that for a reason and I'm really grateful. Even though it was a really harsh experience for me, I'm really grateful that I did go through that because I just feel like, sometimes we do have to go through tough situations to realize,
To realize your purpose.
yeah, exactly. I feel like I wasn't really like what I thought was important wasn't really important.
Mm.
I felt like everything that I went through, I'm like, damn, like to just wake up is a blessing. Like sometimes we take our blessings for granted.
Yeah.
I feel like I was in a situation where I'm like, damn, like I wish I could go outside. Damn, like I wish I could freaking, uh, go walk, go run or whatever, go play a
But just
sport.
that simple
Just
thing,
the
you
simple things
just,
in life.
it was taken from you for a short amount of time. How long were
Well,
you?
I was in for a month in
A
the
month.
hospital. Yeah.
Wow. Where you just were not allowed to.
I was in bed rest, so
Whoa.
and I tried to like walk and stuff, but like I would get really dizzy, so that's
Sure.
why I was in bed rest. Because the artery I guess was like closing, so they had to like put
Oh my
blood.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. Like they really took out my brain, and so I was bleeding inside my head, so they had to take out my brain. Yeah,
Wow.
to like take all that blood out and stuff. So yeah, like that happened. And after like the accident, I feel like I just saw life differently. Like I hate like when I see people complain, like stuff could always be
Yes.
so much worse,
Yes.
until that like moment happens, that's when we start to realize our blessings. But it's like let's realize our blessings now.
Now, before
Now.
any of that,
Yeah.
because we know life happens, right? But what can you do to
Make the best out
make
of
the
it.
best of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's always something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
We don't live a perfect life. No one does. We all go through, tough situations and that's just part of life, I feel like.
It
I feel
is.
like we go through certain situations for a reason. And if we're still here another day, it's another day to keep striving and to keep pushing.
We said this right before we started, right? Is that day, the first win of the day is opening those two eyes. If you
Yep.
get to do that, that's a win.
That's a big one
How are
right
you
there.
not, how are you having a bad day already?
Yeah.
You just can't. You
Yeah,
shouldn't.
you shouldn't. Like, and I feel like it also because we can get so caught up with life that we don't like just like set that intention of like, thank you. Like, I'm grateful to wake up
Yeah.
another day, you
And
know?
use these two legs to walk to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's way too many things that like, just like you talked about, right? For a month, I wish I could go outside. For a month, I wish I could do this by myself.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
just don't realize that's some people's lives. And so why are we being so mad about the fact that we get to do this? You
exactly.
get to do it,
You get to do it,
right? And
And
that's the beautiful part about it. And I love that you said all that, right? So this now happens Is it instant? Do you instantly shift and go, I want my life to be completely different? What happens right after that?
Well, change, I feel like change is not like it's not like a one day to another. Like
Yeah,
even though I did go through a really bad situation, I'm so grateful that I'm still here today. I did like it did change my mind in a lot of ways on
sure.
like my blessings and stuff, but I feel like it was very hard to like get away from the party life.
Okay. So it was gradual. It
Yeah.
took you, it
It,
took you
it
some
kind
time.
of like I took a break, but then like once I'm like, oh, like I'm good, I started slowly getting back into it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is where building habits is like it can be hard.
Yeah.
It can be hard. It can be hard to quit something. It can be
Yes.
hard to stop and change your whole life,
Wow.
like create a whole new identity, a whole new chapter, a whole new page. And I feel like that's been like my life, like it's been like this routine that I've been so used to. But I know that if I want to do better, like I gotta do better. I can't, like if nothing changes, nothing will ever change.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so grateful for like Monet, because
Yeah.
that's where they introduced me to mindset and like just I feel like everything is just like everything connected in some way,
Yeah.
and I feel like Monet needed to come in my life for a reason as well. If I didn't maybe say yes to the opportunity, I probably wouldn't have gotten introduced to mindset.
The power of yes.
Yeah, the power of yes. And I'm like, damn, like imagine I'm so passionate about mindset now.
Yeah.
I love to spread my
All from one yes.
all from one yes, Yeah. Um and yeah, so that's been like well with the achievement like kind of leading to like well the modeling and stuff, I've been like growing in that sense. Now I've been able to like grow locally with stores, working with
Sure.
stores, which is a really big win for me, because I think that's also like one of my goals is like I want to grow in Colorado,
Yeah.
like put my face out there,
Yeah.
like people know who I am, but I also want to go bigger,
You want to go bigger?
put
Yes.
catch me
You
in
get
the
national,
national
you get
international.
worldwide.
Hey, no,
And
literally.
it's people don't understand this too. I mean, I love that you're saying this because I want everybody to get this picture. It's a journey, and every part needs that part. Every building block that you're putting on here needs that part.
It's brick by brick.
It can't, you can't just put in this brick and then jump 10 floors and then put in another brick. Your foundation will crumble.
Yeah.
So everything you're doing right now, yeah, of course, you just right now it's Colorado, but that's just because where you're at. Then guess what? It gets bigger. But you have to be prepared for it. Your armor
Exactly.
has to be strong enough to go, hey, by the way, we need you out here in New York and you got to be here for 3 weeks. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to say, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready. Let's go.
Yeah. And
Right?
sometimes we don't realize that like, I feel like it's everything is prepping us to
It's all,
becoming that version,
love that.
to becoming that bigger person, that like bigger model. Like it's all part of the story,
It
like how
is.
you were saying, like it's all part of your journey to be able to help you and build you for when that time comes,
Mm-hmm.
you're ready,
Yes.
and then I mean you're not always going to be ready. Sometimes it's going to hit you like, oh shoot,
Sure.
but you got to take risks,
Yeah.
you got to go for it, and I think that's just super important, in the sense of like just keep going,
Yeah.
and don't ever like hold yourself back,
Yeah.
because just like the regret of just like staying, just not,
It's scary.
it's scary, yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary, yeah.
But we also talked about this too. Is it's one of the questions I have is one is your what's one of your biggest fears? And I'm gonna have you answer that because I think we have a good conversation there. But what is one of your biggest fears right now?
My biggest fear is just like stopping. Like I know that probably sounds like, I don't know, like if it sounds like cheesy
I don't
or
think
like I
so.
don't know,
I don't
like
think so.
but like stopping. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I have so much potential and and like I feel it. I feel like I have it and I'm like, damn, like why would I want to hold myself back? Like that's scary. Like to just be complacent.
Yep.
I'd rather like just, even though like I know it's all a journey, but like I'd rather go for it. That's what keeps my life going. Like,
Wow.
like that's what fuels me, honestly. Like I feel like when I'm doing different stuff and like challenging myself, like that creates happiness for me
It
because
does.
it's giving me like an opportunity to like really like, damn, I can do this, and then
Man.
what's next? Let's go.
Man. Man, I love that. And that's the thing too, right? Is I know a lot of people would say, and you were saying that it would be, you know, it's super chill to not say that, but I think also too is when you say my biggest fear is failing. I would disagree. I mean, not that you said that, but when people tell me that, I disagree with it because failure equals growth. You want to fail. as much as possible. You want to look goofy as much as possible because guess what? The next time you do it, you learned
Exactly.
and it gets better.
I feel
It gets
like
better.
failure is not really like a word that I like to use. I always
No,
says you either win or you learn, and that's it.
win or learn.
That's
Look at
it.
that. Look at the drop of the gems on the bottom.
Hey, that's literally my cover photo on Facebook, and I haven't changed it since.
I
You
love it.
either win or you learn, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like, maybe the situation didn't go as planned or something didn't go as planned, but that's part of the
It's
journey.
part of the journey.
What did you learn? Take what you got to take from it and move forward with
Yeah.
it.
Man, that's so good. That is so, so good. Now, one of the questions that I also asked you was if you had to go back in time, we got magically time machines, and you had to give advice to your 14-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Ugh, I was like, damn, like that's such a good question. And like it really had me thinking,
Yeah.
honestly. I was like, damn, like what would I tell myself, you
Mhm.
know? But I really was thinking about it and I was like, honestly, like you're gonna go through stuff. You're gonna go
Because
through
at 14, you're just entering high school,
yeah,
right? You're just getting going.
yeah,
Don't know what you don't know. So it's
exactly.
such a good age to give advice to.
Yeah,
So, I'm
yeah.
sorry, keep going.
No,
I
no,
want
no.
you to, I kind of want you to
Yeah.
paint that out for us.
So I would be like, you're gonna go through stuff, but it's all part of the journey. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be good. You are going to stop because at that age, that's when I was insecure about my height.
Oh, right then.
Yeah, right there. That was there,
Man,
right there. So I would tell her, I'm like, girl, embrace that height.
man,
Embrace
it's
that
gonna
height.
take you
It's
places.
gonna take you places, literally. And I would have never thought I would be here today in like modeling and stuff like that. But that's like been such a passion for me.
Sure.
It's been such, like I said, like that was literally, even though I would do pageantry at first, but that's really been like that like stepping stone, that the power of a yes, and being open to opportunities.
Hmm.
Um, that like it changed my whole life and the way I see myself and embracing myself, my height, and who I am as a person, you
Yeah,
know? But yeah, like I'm gonna go through stuff, but it's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. And don't ever give up on yourself. Don't
man.
ever give up on yourself.
That's so good, right? And I love that you said that because you're not saying I've arrived. You're saying I'm still going to go through stuff. Stuff is still going to happen, but my armor is sharper now. It's stronger now to be able to go through those things. And what do you always say? Grow through those things,
Yup,
right?
exactly.
So that's just huge. Now, to wrap this up, any final words? Number one, that's the first thing I want to ask you. What do you have? I mean, again, you gave some advice to your 14-year-old self. What advice would you give to the millions of listeners that are potentially listening right now? That's the first
Yes.
question. And the second question is, where can people find you? So
Okay.
I'll let you kick that off.
This is like kind of like my motto is every day is a new day to try again. That is like the message I give to you guys. It is okay to, have setbacks, but never give up on yourself. Fall down, but get back up. Um, we all have so much potential for so many things. Sometimes you just got to be open to the opportunities. Um, I believe that whatever you do in this life, it's because it's for a reason. And I also do believe that we are all capable of doing anything in this life. You just have to first off want it for yourself. If you don't want it for yourself, no one's going to want it for you. And if you want change for your life, you have to create that change.
Man, there's a mic drop. Right there. I got a third mic. Tell them where they can find you.
Yes. So you guys can find me on Instagram. That's the platform that I'm like, that's like my main platform. It's underscore Odalis Miranda. Or TikTok. I've been on my TikTok grind or whatever. So TikTok, I used to not be a TikTok person, but now I'm in my TikTok. It's the same thing, underscore Odalis Miranda. And those are also YouTube, you guys, Odalis Miranda. Go subscribe. I am on my 1K journey on YouTube.
Love it.
And
Love it.
yeah, so shout out to my boyfriend for putting me on YouTube.
Yeah, no, he's a stud. He actually does really good work. I am 1000% a fan of his too. So thank you so much for joining.
No, thank you
I
guys.
really, man, I'm telling you, and as we wrap up, I'll just say this. These are the conversations that you just crave. You got to have these conversations. If you're not having these conversations, you're having energy draining conversations. I try to avoid those at all costs. That's why I do these podcasts. So thank you so much,
No,
my friend.
thank
I'm gonna
you.
give you a high five. Boom, right there. Appreciate you guys so much. Go give it a subscribe. Go give it a follow. Go give Odalis a follow. Absolutely, positively appreciate you. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, this is John Alvarado, Odalis
Odalis
Miranda.
Miranda.
5 minutes of focus. Take care.
Yep. And this win the day.